Morning, Cooper. Thank you so much for making the time this morning, and obviously congratulations on the extension.
Thank you.
Wanted to first ask you who the first person was that you thought of as you were signing your new contract yesterday.
The first person I thought of,
Mm-hmm.
um, I wasn't really thinking. I was trying to remember what my signature was. Remember what date it was. No, I mean, really, it was like I think it really is. I was thinking of all the people that have been a part of my life that have poured into me. Um, in one way or another, there's so many people that have had a hand in making me who I am today, as a person, as a father, as a husband, and as a football player. And so, all of that stuff together is just, there's so many people. And so I was just thinking of how many people I've come in contact with that have influenced me in a positive way and have poured into me. So, I think the culmination of that, and then also the understanding that there's so much that's out of our control, so much that was out of my control in my career, in my life, the things that, God had his hand in, things that fell into place for me. I think there wasn't really, I think there's just a humility and understanding that, we were able to step into this place because of so many things that went well for myself, for my wife, for my boys. I think that's kind of where, our mindset was there.
And then just as a quick follow-up, what was the inspiration for wearing Matthew's jersey while you were signing the contract?
I thought it was just going to be okay. It was kind of a cool thing, and certainly he's one of those people that's had a hand in being able to be in this place and have the opportunity to, extend my career here in Los Angeles and be able to sign that contract. What was that? And be able to sign that contract, and do that. I mean, he's obviously, your quarterback plays a huge role in that. So, a little bit of a nod to Matthew Stafford in that way.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Nick.
It's not professional there, artists.
Hey, Cooper, congratulations on the extension. You've always had that mentality, blessed to be a blessing, and you've always been a giver as far as your philanthropic work goes. And now with this new deal, have you had any thoughts? I know it's just happened, but have you had any thoughts as far as what direction you want to go in philanthropically, as far as helping out communities here in Southern California, as well as, in your hometown?
Yeah, well, I think, for us, there's so many things. I mean, we feel like year after year, it's kind of been, there's certain things that get put on our hearts, certain things that come up that we get to be a part of. And, I think we're very prayerful about those things. And it's something that we kind of are fluid with as we kind of move from year to year, and needs change and things happen in this world that, allow us to kind of, by being fluid, allow us to kind of step into those places. So that's our mindset. And, certainly being here in LA, being able to be a part of this community, and, being able to invest in the people that are here as well, and be able to step in and fill the gaps that are just here in our hometown, is something that is very important to us. So, that is something that we were fluid with, but it is something we're very prayerful and intentional about as well.
Now, you never made a big to-do about, your contract extension itself, but now that it's over, is that kind of something that's less in your mind now? You can fully focus on football now moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, I think I was more of a part of things this time around, but like I've said, it never took away from anything that was happening on the football field. I knew this was just going to be a product of what happens out there anyways. So the important thing was taking care of the stuff out there, being able to be prepared as well as I need to be physically, mentally, emotionally, to go out there and be the best player that I can be. All the contract stuff was going to take care of itself without having to take away from anything that was going on out there. So, no, I mean, it's great to have done, but, I think it's the mindset wise, I don't feel like I had to step back at all from any of the football stuff.
Thank you, Cooper.
Yeah, thank you, Nick.
Dennis.
Hey, Cooper. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. You had a great season last year. How do you guard from complacency creeping in during the season, this upcoming season?
Yeah, well, during the season, there's certainly no room for complacency because this league's just too good. There's too many good football players, too many good coaches. You can be humbled very quickly if you're not on your P's and Q's and preparing how you're supposed to. So the complacency, really, I think the place that usually sets in is in the off season. It's in the months where your only challenge is really the challenge that you present for yourself. You wake up in the morning, and the process that we work by, the process that the Rams have set, and then also the one that I have lived by, that I've modeled my life after, is taking things a day at a time. Whatever you're doing, understanding that whatever's
And, how do you as far as working with the young receivers, what is your obligation as you see it, as far as working with the young receivers?
My obligation with working with the young receivers. I mean, obviously, anyone that comes into our room, we do this thing as a room together. We work together on this thing. So we try to be our best in terms of lifting guys up, allow guys when they step on the field to be the best versions of themselves. So, we have a high standard, and we call everyone up to that and expect that, that you're striving for that and how you do things. And, we certainly want to be able to answer any questions that you have, provide anything that we can as veterans that have seen it, anything that we can give to you that allows you to play at your best. We want to be there for that.
Thank you.
Yep.
Modesty.
Cooper, congratulations.
Thank
You talked about the things that are out of your control and about taking it day to day. But I wonder, when you were drafted, could you envision being where you are today? Could you see the path to this?
Depends on what you're saying this is.
Well, being by many measures on top of the league, the best or one of the best receivers in the league.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I think. To keep it pretty simple, I think if you're playing this game, if you're ever playing, you're preparing. If you're not preparing to be the best, I don't know what you're doing. You shouldn't be preparing to. I don't think anyone goes into an off season and says, "Well, I'm going to prepare this. I'm going to prepare to be the middle of the pack receiver, or middle of the pack." It's just like, this is what you prepare for. You model your day. You strive to be the best that you can possibly be. So certainly it's something that you strive for, something that you push for. I talked about challenging yourself in the morning, and I want those challenges to reflect what my goals are going forward and what I want to be as a player. And so certainly, this is what I envision myself being. I'm very thankful to be in this place, to also know that it's not just about me and what I've, the work that has taken place for me, but it's also the guys I get to be around, the coaches that I get to have put me in great positions, and the guys I get to step on that field with that have also put themselves in a position to be the best that they can be, and that trust that we get to share in that, and knowing that our preparation is matched, and I get to trust that when I line up next to Higbee, he has prepared himself to step right with me when we're working on combination blocks, we're working on all these different things, that it's something that we've prepared for together, and we get to go and experience that stuff together.
In your physical preparation, in getting strong and getting fast for the new season, how much do you have to accommodate the fact that you played more games, ran more yards than anybody last year? How do you having to recover?
Yeah. Well, I think having a plan with our training staff, and even going into last year, the plan was set forward to be able to play 21 games. The expectation is we're going to be able to play for the Super Bowl. So how do we prepare ourselves, even when it was back during OTAs, back last year? How do we prepare ourselves? How do we prepare people's bodies to be able to take on the yardage, the burden that's going to be, so we can step into that and be at our best all the way through that thing. So they've done a great job of that, just preemptively, but also coming in this next year, understanding even just kind of the approach we took during OTAs this year, taking care of guys' bodies, allow us to recover, but also be able to get the work in that we need to step into training camp and really hit the ground running. So I really trust the training staff that we have, and being able to prepare us, physically for what the rigors of a season are going to be.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Maria.
Hey, Cooper, congratulations on the deal. You've shared with us many times, and even the other day, that this wasn't like, top of mind for you, and you were not concerned about it, but the Rams were concerned about getting this deal done. What does that mean to you?
Oh, I'm so thankful for this organization, and the people that and the coaching staff up through the front office. Like I've touched on, this is an organization that I want to be a part of for a long time. So to have those people I have a lot of respect for, be able to show me that that they want me to be here and that this was a priority for them. I'm incredibly grateful for that, and I don't take that lightly.
Did Les come up and talk to you about it first, or who approached you?
About getting a contract done. Period.
About getting this done. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think it was kind of communicated across the board from in terms of from Sean from the front office about what their priority was and how they kind of saw this offseason playing out for the Rams, and they did a great job kind of just communicating what that was going to look like and kind of the timelines behind things, and so it was kind of a group approach.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Jordan.
Hey, Cooper, congratulations.
Thank you.
You have mentioned a couple times that this process was different than the first time around, and that also you were more involved this time around. Can you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, well, I just thought being in a place where, collaboratively, the communication from one to another one, I think me being a few more years into this, having a little more knowledge about the business side of the sport as well has helped, and just being able to communicate myself clearly what was important to me. And then the collaborative approach and just the mutual respect that we had for each other, this organization. And I think really the biggest difference was that collaboration, being able to sit down and just have some conversations that, put things in the right place, and then being able to work through it together so that we both end up in a place where there's, we both feel great about what we're doing. It's a win-win, and we get to move forward and be excited about what the future holds.
Without getting too much into the weeds on the deal itself, the guaranteed money that Ryan was able to work out on it is notable. And so I kind of wonder, you are seeing that a little bit more across the league, specifics about that guaranteed money. Is there a sense of that being almost like an empowering thing for players as you watch that trend sort of grow in certain notable contracts that have been done?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's just kind of, I think as years have gone on, I think that's kind of what you think of as more, what is the real money behind a deal, and there's different ways that that's structured and things like that, and timelines on how that kind of stuff is is paid out. But it's certainly something that, to me, I think as football players, I think you kind of have to lean more into understanding that the guaranteed money is the stuff that you can really bank on and count on as part of the deal. And I do think we're going to kind of see a trend that goes that way, and I think it is a good thing for football players is in this sport that is very is a violent, very random sport. It's a lot of stuff that's out of your control. Is something that I think should be thought about as guys in the future kind of do their contracts.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
Tyler.
Hi, Cooper. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You, Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, Matthew Stafford are all signed at least through the 2024 season. How important was it for you guys to kind of stay together as a core?
Yeah, well, I think that, being in this league, the turnover is just unbelievable. It is part of this business. It's part of just what you deal with, in this, playing this game. But being able to have, somewhat of a carryover in terms of the guys that you have played with each other, that have so many snaps together, and the ultimate team game, the more time you get to have together, the better you are, I think. Just being in sync and understanding that, you get to play a little bit faster when you can anticipate the guy next to you and how he wants to play things, how he does his job. And so being able to have a little bit of that carryover and communication, being able to speak the same language, there's great value in that. So I'm very appreciative and very excited about the group that we get to have kind of moving forward here.
And what does that say about the organization's willingness to kind of like keep the Super Bowl window open for you guys?
Oh, certainly. I mean, you get into a place, I don't think it would not be fun to come into a season and feel like the organization wasn't behind you as players and trying to achieve, the pinnacle of this game and winning a Super Bowl. So being able to come in year after year and know that the organization has put itself, itself in and all of its players in a position to be able to go out and achieve that. That's something that certainly we do not take that lightly, and we're very appreciative just have that backing from the higher ups here in this organization, and the willingness to challenge and push and be creative and find ways to put us in positions to win games.
Thank you.
Yep.
Sarah.
You were talking about that core, not just on the field and wanting to make sure you guys are competing for a Super Bowl, but what does it mean that the organization has invested in you guys, and in the locker room you can say they're taking care of us and I don't have to even worry about this?
Yeah, no, it is. It is great, and I think it plays differently for certain guys. But I think there's a lot of guys in this building who understand just we have guys that love football. We have guys that love to play this game and have been able to play at a very high level and understand, like I touched on earlier, just the stuff that's going to happen on the football field. That's the stuff that we get to prepare for. That's the stuff that we get to go out there and perform and do what we love. All the stuff on the business side, when you can trust an organization to be in a place that's going to take care of you, they're going to be able to step in and there's going to be a respect there and understanding that you'll be able to, that stuff's going to work itself out. So we've got a lot of guys that take the right approach mentally to being the best versions of themselves first, and then let the business side of things kind of work itself out.
Bridget?
Hey, Cooper, just kind of going off of that, what does it mean for you now? You, Aaron Donald, Matthew Stafford, you're all set to make 25 or more million a year. And that's, the most of any team in the NFL. To know that you're part of a team that respects its good players and is able to work together to get a deal done, because that's not always the case in the NFL. We hear of situations that go poorly and people wanting out. To be able to know that you want to stay here, the team wants you, and they're respectful to all of you. What is that like?
Like I said, it is incredible. I've got so much respect for the way that the organization and the Kroenke family, how this thing's run from the top down. And not to say that things are perfect, but we've got guys that have a respect for their players, and I think that's great. It doesn't always work out that way. I'm not naive to that and understanding that across this league, there's certain things that play out, and it won't always work out that way here either. But I do think as players, understanding that you get to go out there and handle your business on the field, there's going to be an opportunity somewhere to be able to be rewarded for what you've done. And what you're able to produce when you're out there, on those lines playing with your guys. So, I am thankful for that. But again, not naive to it and understand there is a business side of this that it's not always like this. It's not always going to work out perfectly. And there's things that happen that are a little bit out of your control. But, I think the emphasis to go back to it, being the best version of yourself, being able to go out there and play the game you love. You do that more often than not, things are going to work out for you.
Kurt?
Cooper, with this deal, obviously similar. Congratulations, you're here for a long time. Have you and your wife discussed doing, if you haven't already, I don't know if it lines up with this deal, doing things for the community, because obviously Ram fans look at you as such a fixture now of the franchise?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of touched on this a little bit earlier, but it is something that I think my wife and I are very passionate about. But we do say, we try to stay fluid with that and prayerful about it. So we're not locked into one thing, we're not locked into one thing that we're doing over the course of a few different years, but just being able to be mindful of the fact that in this world, there's lots of things that come up, things that change year in, year out, month in, month out. There's things that happen. Think back through the last few years. There's so many people that have been affected by so many different things, whether it's the issues in terms of weather and destruction, and families being torn apart. You talk about COVID and what that was. You talk about so many things that are going on across the world, over in Europe. There's stuff that comes up regardless in this world that we want to be fluid and be able to step into and be able to be prayerful and intentional about where we can provide help. So that's kind of our mindset on that, and certainly being here in LA for the time we have and the future that we get to have here, that's certainly on our mind, and somewhere those gaps we want to step into.
And to kind of quote Jordan, I don't want to get into the weeds of your personal life too deep, but when you're finishing OTAs today and you get a new contract extension, how does a man that you seem to be a very simplistic man, do you celebrate? Do you take your wife out to dinner? Do the kids get to stay up a little late? How do you celebrate this deal, Cooper?
Yeah, well, I think we've got a plan for the summer. I need to take my wife somewhere. That's regardless of whether the deal got done or not. That's something that needs to happen. We've kind of got that. We're figuring that out right now. And then we've got some stuff we want to do. Some on the weekends, be able to take the boys out to Yellowstone, or be able to make some road trips, see some of the stuff, that some of the incredible things in this world is in terms of creation that we want to experience. And so, that's kind of our thought. And then at the end of the day, this is a month to prepare for what's coming up. So, there's an understanding of a balance of time I get to spend with my family and pour into them, and also the understanding that there's a preparation that has to happen as well.
Congratulations, Cooper. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Kurt.
All right, we'll wrap up with Gary, then Eric.
Hey, Cooper. I know you don't focus on the individual achievements, but could you have imagined that you would be able to have such a productive individual season, that the team would win the Super Bowl, and that you would be rewarded, for your efforts with a contract like this? What, when you try and put that in perspective, where are you at with that?
I mean, I touched on it a little bit, but it's about the people. It's about the people I've been around. None of it would be possible without these, the coaches, the guys that I get to come in and prepare with, week in and week out. It's not lost to me, and I'm incredibly thankful for it. There's so much that goes into this. I prepare in a way to try to put myself in the best position possible, but none of it is possible without the guys that I have around me. And that's the bottom line, point blank, period. So just very thankful for where I am, the organization I'm in, and the guys that come in and work alongside me each and every day.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Eric.
Hey, Cooper, congratulations.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you, how much did you enjoy last season, just going through that whole process and having that much success? And did you share that at all with your father? I believe he won a national title when he was at PLU, different level, obviously, but just talk about how much you enjoyed last year and how that kind of played into kind of wanting to get something done now.
Yeah, I did. I had an incredible time last year. I talked about how much I enjoyed the process of that year. I mean, I truly love coming in and being a part of the game plan of the process of, trying to figure out how you're going to attack a defense, what things can we do, what are the little details that are really important this week. I absolutely love it. So regardless of the production, regardless of anything like that, every year that we've played, and certainly winning games helps. It's not as fun to prepare and lose, but certainly the process. I enjoy the process so much that the end result, it's hard to. I know some people don't understand this, but the end result is really secondary to how much the process is important to me, and understanding that when you do the right things the right way during the week and you prepare how you're supposed to, a lot of the times the result's going to be in the right spot anyways. So for me, I've enjoyed every step of that, and like I said, regardless of the production wise, I love being able to play this game.